yards a couple hours after the Raiders beat the Dolphins 27-24. It was the epitome of a must-win game. You know, after going out there and losing to Buffalo in a really terrible game, pretty much the entire Oakland season hinged on winning this game, and sure enough, they pulled through. It was a close one. The defense kind of gave it up a little towards the end, but I'll take the 27-24 victory any way you can get it. Unfortunately, the spread was 3.5 points in favor of Oakland, so they don't cover. So even when we win, we lose. Alright, so just looking at a few things here. Derek Carr went 21 for 30, 300 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 really freaky, fluky interception way late in the fourth quarter. Pretty much what you'd expect. You want him to get a little bit more than that. You want to expect 400, maybe at least 2 touchdowns a game. But we did get some good mileage out of Jared Cook. Very good in the slot for us. That's what the official stats were there. Yeah, 126 yards, 8 receptions, so not bad. Of course, you had Johnny Rocket. That's my nickname for Johnny Holton. He's only had 2 catches all season long, and what do you know, both of them are touchdowns. And believe it or not, this 44-yard touchdown is actually the lesser of the two, because he had that one 64-yard touchdown earlier in the season. So there's that. Michael Crabtree, not much of a factor. Amari Cooper, business as usual. He makes some big catches. You know, when he's on fire, he's getting like 200 yards a game. But when he's not, he's dropping balls left and right. That's very problematic. So passing game, I don't know. You can find some things to complain about, the usual stuff. But all in all, not bad. I think the huge difference between this game and the last one was obviously Marshawn Lynch's play. 57 yards, 14 carries, 2 touchdowns. All in all, Oakland's rushing production really not that high, only 84 yards in the day. But Miami didn't do that much better, only had 86 yards. So the rushing defense getting a little bit better. The rushing attack showing some signs of improvement. Good to see Marshawn go out there and getting the carries, actually being productive. I think as long as we can set up the rushing game to set up the long third down pass, we'll be all right. So offensively, I don't really have a lot of complaints. I would have liked to see Jalen Richard and DeAndre Washington get a little bit more carries, kind of get them moving up the field. But beyond that, and just Amari Cooper's drop passes, not a whole lot to say. Defensively, well, you know, it's one of those things where Jay Cutler had a great game, 311 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He targeted 3 different receivers. So, I mean, obviously with Gareon Conley and David Emerson out, we don't have our best cornerbacks. So we're getting, you know, hit down the long pass. The tight end really seems to be a weakness for his team so far in the season. We're always getting burned on that, and with Gronk coming to Mexico City in a couple of weeks, that terrifies me. And of course, you had Derek Carr. You had 2 fumbles. You had Marshall Newhouse doing that crazy-ass pirouette when he recovered the ball and then got hit and then flew out and did like a full gravitational spin. That was, if we lost, it would have been really upsetting. But since we won, you know, I can let it slide. Navarro Bowman leading on tackles, had 5 solos and 1 quarterback hit. The rest of the team, doing what you do. Khalil Mack, 4 total tackles, 2 solos, putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. But yeah, the safeties and the quarterbacks, you know, who we got in there now, doing just okay. I mean, it's not the kind of defense that's going to beat really top tier teams like Philadelphia or New England. And what do you know, we'll have both those coming up on the schedule. But yeah, beyond that, not a whole lot to say. Giorgio did it pretty good. Marquette King, not his best day punting, but still alright. Special teams played defensively quite well. So yeah, not really a whole lot at all to say about the game. I'm glad the Raiders won. They got up by the time it was 20-9, the game's pretty much over. They just took their foot off the gas and just collected first downs and did what they had to do and let Miami get their garbage goals and then just recover the onside kick. So not a whole lot of drama there. I wouldn't get too worried. The score, it doesn't indicate really how close the game was. It was never that competitive. So there's that. And technically Miami does have a better record than us. They're 4-4, we're 4-5. So we beat a better team. I like that. Alright, so coming up next we got a bye week. And then after that we're going to be going to Mexico City to take on the Patriots. And it's a really interesting time to be in the NFL right now, especially the AFC West, because here's the thing. The Raiders, they're officially second place now because the Broncos lost. The Chargers are at 3-6, so sitting at second place in the division. But hold on, next week Kansas City could lose, so that means they'll drop to 6-4. We go to New England, we win, we're 5-5. Next week Kansas City loses, we can regain the lead of the division in 3 weeks' time. That can happen. I mean, it seems a little fluky. It seems kind of beyond the realm of possibility, but stranger things have indeed happened. So the Raiders, they're not out of the clear yet. They've got to play a whole lot better. But if they go down to Mexico City and they beat the Patriots and they beat them bad, and they look like a good team, they got Denver, who's really reeling from getting the crap beat out of them, looking like they're not really anywhere near being competitive. We can go 6-5. We can have a winning record in 3 weeks' time, maybe in the top of the AFC West. And from there, a lot of tough teams, but a lot of crappy teams too, like the Giants, which pad our record. So it's going to be a struggle. I mean, getting into 9-7 this year itself is going to be an absolute colossal uphill battle. But I got faith. We'll see. We got to see better defensive play. Got to get our cornerbacks back. See better rushing. Amari Cooper's got a hold of the balls. But if we can do that, maybe Todd Downing can save his job. Maybe the team can go in there as a wild card, and who knows? Crazy, crazy things happened in the past. They could be happening again very, very shortly in Raider Nation. All right, enjoy the week off. I'll be seeing you in a few.